Good morning. Welcome to Surreal Estate. I'm Liz McGee-Min.
And I am Val Vandervoort of Veritas Homes. I feel like I finally, 9 months into this thing, got this all going correctly for the first time. Although I do feel like Facebook changes the way it goes every single time. It's always a new thing to figure it out.
We sure struggled with it at first. Remember, we had some pretty crazy setups.
Yeah, yeah, we were definitely like just rigging it up however we could at that time. Which
Remember
is
right at the beginning, you were like holding up your phone with me.
yeah. I mean, I do love like the learning of new ways of doing things that this year has brought.
That's
So,
a good point.
okay, the last year, I should say, not this year. So, speaking of, and well, we've broadcasted this year, but it's been quite the week. How
It
you feeling,
has.
Liz?
A little lighter, honestly.
Yeah,
Just things feel a little bit more positive overall
yeah,
and a little return to normalcy. It
yeah, yeah.
feels good.
That's what I'm feeling like. I just think, yeah, like we had been on a little bit of an unstable ship for a while. And it feels like the ship is stabilizing. So and I'll kind of I have to believe there's a lot of people, regardless of where they sit politically, like that there's a different feel in the air,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
enough on that path. Here's actually another little thing we want to talk about. So it was interesting to me. There were kind of two conversations back to back earlier this week about sellers not making decisions until after inauguration day had completed. And I thought that was incredibly interesting. I don't feel like I get kind of blindsided here and there, but that one kind of blindsided me as far as people saying, I don't want to go on the market or I don't want to make a decision until that day's
After
passed.
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
just,
that is
I mean,
interesting.
that tells you something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's still January, so we thought it would be interesting to talk about predictions for the year. And we found a Forbes article that I'll share in the comments that talks to real estate leaders about how what they think is going to happen in 2021. Everyone's attempt at the crystal ball. So, oh, you know what? I skipped over.
So kind of on that Forbes article, we had two different general opinions, hot all year or just hot in the beginning and then less hot in the second half. Nobody said cooling like that. Just slightly less crazy was kind of the gist of it, right?
Yep, exactly, which is so interesting. And so the opinions of what plays into that is the low interest rates that we currently have, but they likely are going higher, maybe just slightly higher. But we do notice when that happens that buyers take a little bit of time to recalibrate, and those certainly can be interesting opportunities for buyers who just plow ahead and are mentally prepared for that interest rates are a dynamic thing and could likely more likely be swinging up than down. The other thing that plays into those predictions that they're making are the inventory issues. So that was mentioned again and again that there's just not enough supply.
Yeah. It's common theme around here. And those who think that the second half will be less hot are thinking that the inventory will increase in the second half when sellers who have been kind of sitting on the sidelines decide it's time to sell, and then possibly distressed sellers finally to make the decision that they need to sell, which we don't look forward to seeing, but
Yeah.
that perhaps is the reality, right?
Yep. One thing that resonated with me in looking through there was the person who's like CEO of the National Builders Association saying that builder confidence at record highs. And I had heard that before, so it was interesting to see it again, that builders are going to be doing more building. Of course, it takes them a while to get it out. And they did say, supplies cost more, and it's slower building, I think, because of COVID being out there.
Yeah. Yeah. One line that kind of caught both of our attention was just it's time for buyers to be cautious and sellers to be jubilant, right?
Yeah.
It's it's a seller's market, for sure.
Yeah.
And buyers should take care.
Yeah. 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 But it's interesting to see their enthusiasm. Like we had someone
Yeah.
who competed in a pretty strong multiple offer situation this week, and they're super excited about a wonderful home on a wonderful street to like just,
Oh yeah.
start making decisions about. So it's, so interesting for buyers, even buying in spicy markets. So now let's visit my prediction and your prediction. So my prediction is it's going to be a pretty typical year, I think, for us as far as how our market flows. Other than maybe it feels a bit like 2018 to me, where we walked into that market out of a somewhat strong market and it just shot to the races. And I think we're kind of all seeing that right now as far as just very competitive multiple offer situations. And then the second half of 2018, kind of just mellowed out a little bit. And I think, we're going to see it mellow out in May, June, and probably along the summer months as people might be doing more traveling this summer and kind of our little typical fall uptick, and then a little slower in the final quarter. How about you?
I'm with you. I think the market is taking up the fervor that we saw in 2018. I feel like we're starting it even earlier though this year.
Mm.
It just feels like we have so many excited buyers, and it's really fun and exciting. And so I hope that we'll see more inventory coming on. And I think, and I hope that we will start to see a little bit more. We're never going to have, a million choices in this area. It's just not there. It doesn't exist. So, but I have heard of a couple things that are, coming down the pipeline, and that will be opportunities. And I do think by summertime, we'll get a little bit of that fatigue and travel, and perhaps with interest rates ticking up just a little bit by that time, that we will see a slight, I'm not going to use the word cooling, a slight respite.
Mellowing.
Yes.
Just a mellowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have thoughts on what you think might happen with our real estate market, whether you've got an economics background or otherwise, please share it in the comments. Liz and I and our team would always love to help you with any of the real estate needs. So I'm Val Vandervoort of Veritas Homes.
And I'm Liz Min, also of Veritas. Have a great weekend.
Yes, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.